Okay, this is the first in a number of short videos going through some programming code in Visual Basic. This is console programming, so very suitable for AQA Computer Science. First video, we're just going to have a look at different variables, different data types. So to declare a variable, and that means to tell VB that the variable exists, then we must give it an identifier and a data type. If we want a whole number, then we declare that as an integer. So an integer is a whole number. This is the identifier, so it's what that variable is known as. So quite simply, I've just got one here called number. We could have a second number also as an integer. Now I might want to take an average of both of those numbers. Averages usually have decimal places, and therefore decimal places would be stored in a single. So integer is a whole number, decimal place, single. So that is variable declaration. To comment the code, we can put an apostrophe in there, and I'm just going to state that's variable declaration. So a variable is an area of memory that is given an identifier. The value can change, and it is of a particular data type. The next part of a program is getting our input in. So we might display a message to the user. Please enter a number. And here we have what we call an assignment statement. So we're going to assign whatever the user's input is to that variable number. Okay, let's ask the user to enter a second number. So there we've completed both our lines of input. This says please enter a number, and it writes that line to the console. The next line of code reads the line from the console and assigns it to number. The second set of inputs, it says please enter a second number, displays that to the screen, and then it takes what we read from the console and assigns it to number 2. To work out an average, we think of our maths that we've done before. We can add both of those together and divide by 2. So that is known as our processing. And quite simply, the average of the two numbers is, and we're going to use the ampersand symbol, which acts as a join. It actually means concatenate. To concatenate means to join together. And I'm joining together some text. Text can always be spotted through the use of double quotes, and variables don't have the double quotes. All programs should end with a console read line, and therefore the program window will not close. So there we've got a program. We've got our variable declarations. It's nice to line these up. We've got our input lines of code. We've got our processing, so it is doing something, and this line here is our output, and that's what's displayed to the user. So let's run that program now. So at this moment in time, it's here waiting for our input. So I'm going to put, say, 15. Enter a second number. So we are now here waiting for our second input. 34. The average of the two numbers is 24.5. So it's added them together, divided them by 2, and that's given us 24.5. By having a single, that allows that to be possible. And so that is an introduction into variable declaration, input, processing, output, including assignment statements and concatenation.